this gang and that gang and indictments and people getting murdered and slaughtered and killed. No reason. If you're running around with them guns and you putting in pain, it's another type of pain that's behind that pain that you putting in. And it's going to cause your family a lot of pain. Caused my brother to be incarcerated and caused him to lose his life. You know, talking to him, I was by his bedside and I was like, yo, I'm going to kill Mozart. And I made him a promise.
هذا حد العالم هذا طالب هذا راسخ وإلى آخره.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. To all the RipRightHD disciples, YouTubers, and viewers, welcome back to a new video on RipRightHD. You already know what time it is, guys. Also, listen, 718-865-2873. Please text me, join, so you can join the community. We've been down for a few months. We did a couple of meetups. All of our meetups is free. So when you text this number, join, you'll be in the community and you'll know when we're working out, when, what time, the place, and etc. So we've been doing this for quite some time. So, you know, the weather's going to break soon. Before you know, it's going to be spring, summer. So you want to be in on the community. And let's get the updates to what's going on with RipRight. Also, we're going to finish up on this part 2 to how my brother died. Now, guys, if you haven't seen the first video, go check it out before you even watch this video so you can understand all the dynamics of this story. Now, we're talking about Miguel. Now, obviously, he's locked up in Florida prison. Now, let me give you just a quick detail on what happens when you first get locked up. They scan you. They usually give you a TB test. And they put you in population for the most part in most jails. You stay there one night. Then the next day, the nurses, they come and check your TB shot, see if you're negative or positive. So if you do become positive, that means you exposed whoever's in the house to that TB or COs or whatever. So Miguel has about 6 months left in Florida prison. He was caught for money, drugs, as well as guns. So after that, he's going to be released and extradited to New York for the attempt murder against Mozart, right? So they took it easy on him with the time because they felt like he was going to do a whole bunch of time in NYC, whatever have you. So he has 6 months left. A guy comes to the dorm and regular procedure, TB shot, he's in population in the dorm. Next day, nurses come through, you know, call the name out, check him. He is positive for tuberculosis. House goes on quarantine. So now everybody in that particular house, because TB is airborne, they have to be tested. It's so serious that if you refuse a TB test while you're in jail, prison, they put you in solitary confinement indefinitely until you decide you want to take that TB test. At least that's how it was where I was at in a few different spots. So now Miguel has to go for his skin TB test, right? They shoot something in your arm. It comes up as a little bubble. The next day it's good. But if it's like red or bulges up, certain ways they'll be able to tell. So he takes his TB test and his skin test and he comes back positive. So now, you know, he like a little worried. So obviously he has to take an x-ray now to see if it's actually in your system, to see, you know, if it's in you. No freaky. So he takes the x-ray. The x-ray comes out negative. So him at 22, 23, him call Mama Love. Yo, Mom, this is the situation. She said, whatever you do, do not take the medication they're going to give you for that. You do not have tuberculosis. It's in your skin. He like, Mom, I came in good, healthy. I want to leave out good and healthy. I'm going to take the pills. She like, listen, when you're born in Jamaica, they give you a vaccine when we young. And then when I came here, they took a TB test for me and it was in my system, meaning I came up positive for it as far as the skin test. But when they did the x-ray, I came up negative. She said, nothing is wrong. The same thing with Tafawa, your brother. She's like, listen, don't do it. So he went against what she said, and he started to take the pills anyway for about 6 months at this time. And I think he was supposed to take the pills only from 3 to 9 months, if I'm not mistaken. So after the 6 months of taking the pill, he was extradited to New York. So while he was in New York, it was so dope because we haven't seen him in like 2 years. He went right over here downtown Brooklyn, the Brooklyn house. I'm young at the time, so I didn't really know how to maneuver and get around as much. I knew how to get downtown Brooklyn through the dollar van, but as far as the train, I wasn't really train savvy. I never dealt with the train at this time. Now, in retrospect, the train was the best way to go, right? And I knew the buses a little bit, but I was never great with directions. Even after I started driving trucks, I used to get lost with a GPS. So we knew our way downtown Brooklyn, the Brooklyn house where he was at. So me and my brother Lorenzo, you know, he's like a year and some change older than me. We was going to see him, and he would have like 3 visits a week. So we went to see him every single visit. I snuck his gold teeth up there. I snuck him in some earrings, everything. We was just like, you know, we was young. We just got it in there, and then he did what he had to do. So, you know, it was a beautiful thing. So we was just so hyped. So he like, yo, they're going to pack me up. I got to go to Rikers Island. He like, yo, make sure I come. I'm like, yo, I don't know how to get up there. Him, you know, dumbfounded when it comes to all of that, getting up to Rikers Island. As I should have made a super duper effort to do it, though, at the time, because I didn't see him. So he would call every now and again when he got to Rikers Island, and I'll pick up. He's like, yo, you ain't coming. I'm like, yo, bro, I don't even trust me. Like, you don't understand. I don't know how to get up there. And at this time, I'm dumb young. So alhamdulillah, he was in population for a little bit. And obviously, after taking the pills for that certain amount of time, when he got transferred, the medication actually followed him. So he started taking it in jail, also in Rikers Island. So, you know, he started to tell my moms and how he felt, because at this time now, he's been taking it for quite some time. And, you know, you have to drink a lot of water. You have to be real careful, because that thing shuts your kidneys down and things like that. So he gets into an argument with the police officers, a female, if I'm not mistaken, and they put him in solitary confinement. He, you know, they wrote him a ticket or whatever, a reprimand, and he ended up going to solitary, and he was in solitary confinement for about 55 days. Guys, I've been to solitary. It's one of my best times in prison, actually, is being in seclusion like that. For me, per se, I read the Quran over and over and over again, the seal, nectar, you know, certain books. When I was first getting into Islam and the translations of these books, and I constantly was reading, you know, I get 90 days here, then I come out the box with 2 months, and then I get another 90 days. So it was amazing for me. You know, sometimes you get to really, really reflect. The box is not what you think, like you see on TV. They just throw you in a dark hole. That's not how it is. So he's in solitary, but obviously it's a little bit more difficult, especially if you're not used to solitary. You know, you got to know how to talk to the police. You got to be firm. You got to know when to hold your slot to get some attention if attention is needed. Sometimes you can't be the nice guy, especially in the box. You can't say, yes, yo, I need a nurse. You'll never see a nurse. You never. So, you know, my brother, this is his first time being booked. I don't know what was his situation in Florida, but I definitely know he wasn't box savvy. He couldn't have been box savvy. And, you know, especially with fishing and different things like that, it was his first rodeo. So after being in a box for quite some time, you know, he did 55 days in total. I didn't see him not once at all this whole stay on Rikers Island. And, you know, when he came out the box, the officer was like, yo, your eyes are yellow. You need to go check that out. So, you know, he worried my eyes are yellow, so his eyes are yellow. So, you know, immediately he went to sick call to go see what was going on. So I believe that happened maybe on a Thursday. So He was actually admitted into East Elmhurst Hospital on a Friday. So that next day, you know, they reached out to my mom and everybody, and I did something that got on my mom's nerve. I was out of pocket, and me and her wasn't seeing eye to eye, and her and Lorenzo ended up going to see Miguel, and she didn't let me go for whatever reason. I can't remember, but I was in the park playing ball. Same situation when my pops died. In the park balling, that was my thing. Come, I find out this is going on with my brother. Her and Lorenzo's going, I can't go. She went to the hospital, East Elmhurst Hospital, which is also on Rikers Island. And he was just telling her, like, yo, mom, I'm good. Your son good. I feel good. You know, I'm feeling nice. I'm all right. Everything is Gucci. We good. The next day, he slips into a coma. Saturday. So, boom, they take him from that hospital, which is on Rikers Island, to Mount Sinai, which is in Manhattan, I believe. We shoot over there. It's late at night. We were able to see him. He was handcuffed to the bed. You know, he's still a prisoner. Or when I seen him, it crushed me because his head had swole up real big. His head was like, it was, you know, no freaky, but it was like a box, you know, and it was tough. He was growing his dreads back, so they kind of had like this piece shaved because they was gonna do some work and get the fluid out of, you know, his brain. So I'm like, you know, I'm just watching him, and then, you know, his eyes is like barely open, but he's in a coma, and you can see that his eyes are yellow. And the doctor, you know, they like, yo, when you talk to him, he can hear you. Try to get him to urinate. We need him to urine, you know, and they obviously had the catheter in and the thing attached to him or whatever, so the urine can flow out. And I didn't know what was going on. I was young. I was crushed. I was, you know, my brother's in this situation. He's in a coma. What the hell is going to happen? But I'm also furious. So, you know, I had got some time alone with him that same night. And I was just like, you know, talking to him. I was by his bedside, and I was like, yo, I'm going to kill Mozart. You know, and I made him a promise. And I said, yo, if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have been in this situation. And I'm young, you know. I'm young at this time. But that's how I felt. I felt like, yo, you know, this dude caused this. He's the reason why you're in this situation. You know, not realizing that, yes, my brother shot him. But if y'all on that level, y'all playing in the streets, you shouldn't be dropping any dimes, right? In reality. And one thing that I've learned, as I'll be giving you stories about my father and my uncles, you know, we not troublemakers, never been. And even when I talk to my cousins that know about this stuff in detail, when it comes to my pop's personality, my uncle's personality, we don't start problems, but we don't run from them either. You know, we solve it. So we kind of mostly help people. We always trying to help people, even in a mind frame of being into a bunch of criminality and stuff like that. We still try to deal with people a certain type of way, because that's how I was when I was running around with hammers. I know I wasn't messing with this dude. I wasn't messing with this dude. But then if they came messing with me, then I was letting you have it. And it just so happens that's how my whole family was kind of operating. So, you know, when we talk about my brother Miguel, Miguel wasn't a person that caused problems, that just went around and stuck his nose into people's business, you know. He was who he was, you know what I'm saying? And I loved my brother to death. And on his deathbed, I had made him that promise that I didn't fulfill. And alhamdulillah, at the time, I'm happy looking back that wasn't fulfilled, because I've seen Mozart you know, after that situation had occurred, and I was really a gunman at that time. And when I seen him, I had a gun on me, and I know what kind of gun I had on me, and I remember the exact hammer that I had on me. So, you know, I was with my sister's baby father, who stopped me. Who stopped me from that situation. All right, so now let's rewind. So as I made him this promise, he started to cry on his deathbed. I seen the tears coming out his eyes. And I regret now, but qadallahi wa ma shafa'a. Allah has made it a decree, and what he does, he wills. Everything was already written. So it was written for us to leave that night, which I wish I didn't. We left. And when we left, the next morning around 10 or 11, we were supposed to go to see him on Sunday. So mind you, Friday, he got to the hospital like Thursday. Friday, he slipped. They went to see him Friday. Saturday, he slipped into a coma. And now Sunday morning, it's like a 3-day span. They called, yo, your son is no longer, him is dead. Mom bust out, Lord God. And, you know, I'm remember it because we still in the same spot. I'm like, damn, son, bro is gone. You know, I wanted to go early. I wanted to, and I always used to feel like that before accepting Islam. Like, yo, maybe if we was there by his bedside the whole night, maybe this, maybe he, you know, not understanding that Allah, when it's your time, it's your time, you know. So I went through a lot of that as a youth, just thinking about that stuff. And we went to go up there. We went, you know, the medication had made him solid. It broke down his kidneys. I mean, when you're taking this medication, you need to be drinking a lot of water, a lot of different things, movement, exercise, and it crushed him. And like I felt on his stomach, and it was like hard as a rock. And you know, the handcuffs was gone. The police guard wasn't there no more. We found his jail ID. You know, and it was like, dang, son, they killed my brother. This medication he was taking for tuberculosis, he never had it. He never had it. You know, and y'all supposed to know that. If it's not in his system, if y'all took an x-ray, what are y'all forcing this drug on him, or telling him it's an option when you know he doesn't have what he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. The bottom line, man, that's just the bottom line. So he's dead now. He's gone. There's nothing nobody could do about it. It's a done deal. So as time passes, I see Mozart. It don't go down. Alhamdulillah, gets locked up a little bit right after that. 2 years later, I'm in C95. Who do I see? Mozart. I'm a changed man. You know, I got my head on my shoulders. And we talk. We in there and we talk. We talked. And he was in there for a homicide. And I guess, I don't know how much time he ended up getting, 15, 16 years. And then I got upstate and I met somebody, and the same thing occurred with them. He was like, yo, before you got here, you know, this dorm, we was infected with TB. Somebody came on the dorm and this happened. And then now I'm on these pills. And I said, whoa, Muslim brother, I just had met him. I said, listen, this happened to my brother. Don't take the pills. He like, no, yeah, we've been hearing what's going on, but they give you like a supplemental pill with it now, a double dose to help, I guess, break it down where it's not going to break you down. And he was explaining that whole situation to me in, I believe, 2007. Then I ended up leaving prison in 2008 at that time. So the thing is, was my brother wrong for shooting Mozart? Was my brother wrong for having money, drugs, and guns in the crib? I would say yes. But however, it's a murder, you know. The bottom line, you know, they was wrong now for giving him what they was giving him, saying that he had what he didn't have, if it's just in his skin. So guys, listen, one situation from being a gunman at birth, just running around, doing exactly what your father did, what your uncles did, caused my brother to be incarcerated and caused him to lose his life and to leave behind a daughter and a son, and to die at 23, to lose your life. And now, you know, you're hearing about this gang and that gang and indictments and people getting murdered and slaughtered and killed. No reason. I'm just asking you as a youth, if you're running around with them guns and you putting in pain, it's another type of pain that's behind that pain that you're putting in. And it's going to cause your family a lot of pain, whether you are dead or you're in jail for life. It's serious circumstances. So guys, we're going to get into some more stories. I hope this was a benefit, man. There's nothing more for me to say, man. Stay tuned. Stay rip. 6-pack. Big back. Big facts.
Indeed, in the body, literal translation, is a lump of flesh, a piece of meat. إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. And when that lump of flesh